One of the best ways that you guys could just become better at socializing and obviously getting better with women and dating as well is positioning and your environment. A lot of you guys, you end up working throughout the week. Maybe you go to the gym or you do like some kind of hobby, but that's pretty much your whole week. And you're not putting yourself in a position to make something happen. You're not forcing yourself to go out into an environment where you will be forced to socialize. A recent story that happened inside of the program where there was a client of mine, he came into the program, he had a very bad negative mindset about the way he looked and about how women perceived him. And the reality was he's not even that bad looking of a dude. He was blaming his height, he was blaming his looks, and I was looking at him, I was like, dude, I don't think you realize you're actually like 5'7", you're like 1 inch shorter than me, and you're not that bad looking. If you just kind of like took a little more care of your physique and like started going out more, you could absolutely crush it. Like if you just started doing that. So what I did with him over time was helped him understand the idea of positioning in an environment. You don't need to go out to the club to get success with women. You don't need to go out and do day game to get success with women. You don't need to do online dating to get success with women. Yes, are all three of those avenues great ways to get more leads coming into the funnel? For sure. I encourage you guys to do all three of them. If you really don't want to go out to the clubs, you should pick some location that you could go out during the daytime, even if it's just for 15 to 30 minutes to get a little bit of interaction in. This client ended up going to this convention. It wasn't like a convention and it wasn't like a convention, but it was some kind of like gathering for like that kind of stuff. And he just went to the event. He didn't feel comfortable in the clubs. He had never done day game approach either, but he went to this event knowing that there was gonna be a lot of people there. Once he went to that event, he said at some point a girl actually came up to him and made a comment about like the booth that they were standing near, because there was actually like kind of like a crowd around, and the girl mentioned something. And from that, they got into a conversation. Now, this is a guy that was telling me he's too ugly, he's too short, this could never happen. Fast forward, he ended up going into a more in-depth conversation with this girl, getting her contact info, meeting up with her again, and they continued to hang out several times, at which point 3 weeks later, he was telling me they actually went on a date and he ended up closing in the backseat of his car. The crazy thing to me was he was still trying to discredit himself after the fact that he had closed and that it was bullshit and he can't believe it actually happened. It was almost as if he was acting as if it was like a sympathy. It just shows you how bad the negative self-talk was. But I was breaking it back down to him after he told me what happened, and I was like, dude, I don't think you realize, like, the main thing that you did that was so important out of all of this was you just put yourself in a location where social interaction can happen. Just put yourself in an environment where you have the potential to get into interaction. Because most of you guys, you don't even do that. You don't even step up to the court. You can't win if you're not on the court to play the game. Okay, and again, that doesn't necessarily mean you need to go to the club. Now look, I think nightclubs are great ways to get practice in with minimal judgment. You're most likely not gonna see any of these people ever again. So there's a lot of anonymity in an environment where people are expected to be social. So night game, in my opinion, is great. That's where I learned primarily my foundations. Day game is also another great opportunity as well because you're not competing against a lot of stimulus. This can happen in the gym, this could happen in a grocery store, this could happen on the street, in a public area, in a park, anywhere where there's a volume of people. If neither of those work for you, you could start doing online dating. If you're not big into online dating, you could start going to these group meetups, conventions, festivals, gatherings, strip club. Like literally the strip club, you could go practice at the strip club. There's hot, half-naked girls that are actually gonna come up and talk to you. There is no excuse, guys. You just need to figure out what is the location for you and start going to that thing more and more consistently. Because if you're just at home watching videos all the time, you're just putting more and more theory in your head, and it's not actual implementation and execution. This is an art form that I'm teaching you guys. And if you want to get better at any art form, you need to actually practice the art. It's not watching somebody else play the piano and I'm studying the way that they play the piano and I just watch another video on them playing the piano. Like if you're gonna get good at the piano, you're going to try to actually play the piano. That's what you would expect to do. You need to go to the place where there's actual potential pianos that you could put your finger on and press. That's probably the most fundamental piece to getting good with being social. It's not watching 1,000 videos, it's not buying the program, it's not studying fucking all this shit. It's like you spent 10 hours this week watching videos, you spent less than 1 hour in interaction. Instead of 10 hours of studying and 1 hour of interaction, I'd rather you just had 2 hours of being in a social environment. It's so crazy to think that guys will complain about how they could never have success, but they just aren't even really trying to go for it. Are you gonna win every game? No. Are you gonna hit every shot? No. But if you're on the court enough, the opportunities will present themselves. If nothing else, you need to evaluate your life, where you're at, And what is like the one main change you could do to just put yourself in more interactions throughout your week? That could just be going to the park for 1 hour on a Sunday. That could be parking further away from whatever place you were planning on going to and walking a couple blocks to get to the place and having a couple quick interactions on the way. It could just be extending the conversations that you have in your day-to-day at the grocery store, at the gym, like pushing those 1 to 2 to 3 sentences and questions further than you normally would just have that basic bland conversation. But the more consistently you can do that and just put yourself in a position for something to happen, the more opportunity you're gonna have. Once you have that down and you wanna go further with it, great. Dive into the night game stuff. Start doing more day game approaches. Deck out your online dating profile. Deck out your Instagram. All of those are gonna just stack on top so you can really optimize the lead flow that you have coming into your life. And that's how you're gonna fucking crush it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're interested in implementing any of the concepts taught in this video, I have a brand new coaching program where you can actually work with me one-on-one. I'm going to analyze your communication, your pickup skills, your game, and assess where you're at, point out your blind spots, your sticking points, show you the step-by-step process as well to take you from where you're at right now to accomplishing your goals with women and dating. Click the link in the description, fill out that application, pick out a day and a time for that consultation call, and I'll be talking to you guys soon. Until next time, Coach Kyle signing out. Peace out, guys.